Okay, so let's start off with a basic geometrical box. This is how I would start off with it. Basic box. So I've got the basic box. I'm going to eyeball a center line because this is going to help me down the road. I'm just basically eyeballing it to see that these are the same distances in here. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same down here. I'm going to just eyeball, that looks about here, and here, that looks about here. So there, I've got a cross. Bring this down because it will be all, at the end of the day, it will be some sort of rectangular box. So, and I can be a little bit loose. Now let's start cutting at corners. And so, with this, I'm just measuring this, eyeballing this distance and this distance. Trying to get it like nice and square and not too, just trying to make it nice and 45 degrees. So here, I'm going to also do this one and cut off the edge. Cut off the edge here. Cut off the edge here. So I'm just lining all of these lines up. It's all parallel. So I'm just parallel everything, cut off the edge here. So now the shape that I'm left with is, if I go a little bit hard, join the dots, that. Okay, so this is the basic shape I've got. Now let's start adding some depth. Here, and I'm going to eyeball this side as well. So it looks about the same distance. I'm trying to be cognizant of all of that. And here, trying to make this the same distance as the other sides. And here. Trying to make this distance as well. This distance also, there. This distance is all the same, so try to join that up. This distance, here and here, so try to join all this up. I'm being loose, okay, and then this distance also will be the same. So there, I'm starting to develop my shape. These are all parallel lines, so I'm going to also follow this parallel line stuff down here, and then draw this in. Also with the parallel lines of this, this, and then this is going to follow these parallel lines here and here. So now I've got my basic shape. Let's cut off the end. Let's say here. Oh, wait, we do need to chamfer it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an extra line above and below, equally spaced, right above each one. It's going to look weird now, but hopefully it'll come together. So I'm just going to add one equally spaced above and below that line. I'm not going to bother with this one, but I will do it here. And I'm going to follow it around. I'm only doing the bottom one right now. I'm drawing very slow and shaky, but it's okay for now. And here I'm going to do the same and bring it all the way across. And here I'm not going to see much. I honestly don't know what's happening there, so I'm going to leave it alone. One exactly above and below this line. So there. Now I've got my rough shape. Now if I join the dots, join the corners, shall I say? Maybe I have to fake this. I'm just faking it. Join these corners. And here, this is going here, it's going here. I think I'm going to see a little bit here. Join that dot. So this is where I'm really going to use this center line, this contour curve. Put this 45 degrees and bring that down. Same here. Following this line, I'm going to use that same center line. Put in that contour. So now that's really helping me describe this shape. Again here, 45 degree and straight down. And then and then let's come down here as well. Luckily I drew that, but it kind of looks cool. Just accident. So this 45 degree line goes all the way across, so I'm going to make it strong on the top. 45 degrees and then straight down. So there, I've got my chamfers. This is gonna also have a little chamfer in here. Barely see this side, but I'm gonna fake it in. So there, I've got my chamfers. Now let's go back. Let's see your drawing. Okay, we're gonna cut off this. We're gonna cut this out. It's kind of like I really pretend that I'm in a workshop and like cutting this stuff out. So I built my shape, and now I'm gonna cut it out. I'm gonna measure this distance, and then duplicate it here. I'm gonna measure the distance here, so it's nice and even. Cut it off 45 degrees, just like here. 45 degrees. Bring it down. All parallel. So there. I'm going to cut this 45 degrees and bring this down. Cut this 45 degrees. So now, oh, and where, how does this work? This goes across. Oh, here, it stops here. Gets a little confusing. Oh, this comes over like that. So I have to measure what I measure, so I need to know where the bottom cuts. So there. Really, I need to get rid of all of this. This is a real pain in the ass because it's confusing me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get in there hard around the cut because it's confusing me with that old stuff in there. So I'm going to get in there. There. And go really hard around this corner that's nearest me. And I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to go onto this side now. Cut this out very strongly. I'm going to even shade it in. This could be a mistake, but because I might need to. I'm going to shade that just because it's just going to make it easier for me to see. There. Okay, so this is all. So I think in your drawing, let's look at your drawing. You have a shaft, what's that called? A piston? No, an axle. Let's just call it an axle going straight through the middle. So let's add that. So I'm gonna put one in the middle. I'm gonna start off with the hole. I'm gonna put it right in the smack middle. And I'm gonna make a line following it all parallel, but I screwed up by filling this in. So I'm gonna have to do the criminal sin and get out my white out if I have any. Oh, I do. I have it hidden here because this is an emergency. This is annoying me really badly. So I got my white out, just simple white out, quick dry. So I shake this up because this is normally the most liquidy and easiest to deal with. So this is going to look like hell, but when you photocopy it or when you put it in your computer, it'll look way better. Oh my god. Normally it has a little brush on the end. What happened? I don't know. I guess I shook it so hard that it flew off inside the bottle. That's so nutty. Hold on, I don't have another one. All right, this is getting worse and worse as it goes. Let's see if I've got a white pen. This is just going to be so nasty by the end of this little repair job. It's going to be like plastic surgery gone wrong. Okay, here we go. White pen. And just test it a little bit. Let's just test it on some paper. This is going to be so nasty. All right, I'm going to color this in with this pen. Okay, while I'm at it, I was going to erase out all this other stuff. This. Okay, at least it's kind of covering it up a little bit. All right. Oh my gosh. But hey, it helped. It helped actually in the end. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna put in you have this prong Goes all the way through. So let's put that in. Yeah, I think so. But I'm doing a big oversized one. I think you made one too thin. So I'm going oversized. I'm doing a real fat one. So something like this. This is how big my that piece is. We're making it big. I'll put a little hole, like a indentation for it to sit in, and then it's going to come down like this and into here. So I went a little bit crazy, a little bit. So that's my thing. Now I'm going to shade it in. Engineering style. Engineering style is parallel lines, equally spaced. Don't get all artistic. Keep it stiff and engineering, because it's cut metal. That's what that is. So there, I've basically got my interpretation of your buckle. Oh, we need to add some jewels. Let's add some jewels. Jewels. So I'm gonna just really loose, because I start using my center line to make sure this is in the center, and then I can easily kind of eyeball in where all the other jewels go. Here again, that center line really does help plot everything out. Another one here, and then maybe a small jewel here and a small jewel here. I'm gonna maybe a small jewel here. And I'm not going to go crazy on this. I'll just make a small square on top. Maybe these jewels are different sizes.
Yeah.
They might have to be. But I'm not even going to go mess with these. I'm just going to mess with these top ones. These ones nearest me. So jewels. Since this is flat surfaces, metal, I'm going to put in diagonal lines, but straight. And each time it's a different surface, I'm going to change the angle. And this top one, it's going to get confusing. But this is a shiny thing, so maybe it's okay. There we go. Okay, I'm going to say my light source is here. So I'm going to say the shadow is going to come off here. I'm not even going to go crazy. I'm not even going to finish it off, because I don't know how it will finish. It's too confusing. But what I'm going to do then, I'm just going to go around where the shadow is. Go hard on the base, because that's where and go hard here. Go hard here, and I'm going to shade it. I guess I'm going to shade it. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to start off here, because I'm going to go all the way across. Actually, no, my bad. I'm going to start here. And shade it. And I'm just going to fading off as I go out. And then I'm going to start again over here. I'm good. This prong is going to have a shadow, so I'm going to also shade all this in. Now my drawing is really kind of messy, but I can put it into Photoshop and erase out all of this, all the ugly. And if you're doing this on your computer, you could easily erase all that. But that's how I would approach it. Is that a little bit helpful, Andrew? Yeah? Okay. All right, cool. So,